I didn't know what else to do. I think I started to agree with him because I didn't want to break up. So for me, it wasn't that I was thinking about, I'm gonna go kill my baby. I wasn't like, I don't want to be a mother. It had nothing to do with that. It was just the fact that I was about to lose the only person in my life who I could even talk to about hardly anything. I couldn't really talk to him that well, but it's like it was the only relationship that I had where I felt like it was going well. My boyfriend ended up paying for it. I found a clinic somewhat close to where I worked. It was like 10 to 15 minutes away from where I worked. And there was nobody in the parking lot. And I noted that there was nobody in the parking lot. Like, not even protesters. There was nobody there. And I think in my mind, I had been saying to myself, if there was somebody there, like protesters, I was gonna leave. Like, I wasn't gonna be there because I was so embarrassed of the entire situation. But I don't know if anybody really knew that there was a clinic there. I waited in my car and I was like, maybe I could just leave. But I was like, I have to go through with this. A lot of things were going through my mind. So when I got in there, the lady that let me in, I don't know if she was the nurse, I can't remember. So she had me sit down and I was waiting in the lobby, and again, nobody was in there. It was like a ghost town. She was walking me back to the room that I was to go sit in for the ultrasound. As I was walking back, I saw two doctors off to the right of me, like lounging, like laughing with each other. And I like briefly was like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's okay. But I still felt very uneasy about being there. And as I was walking back, I also saw a door wide open. There was a girl, her legs were in stirrups. She was just laying there. Nobody was there with her. And it was like really weird that the door was open, and I bounced my eyes off of it because I was like, I felt weird for seeing that. I think she asked me if I wanted to do a surgical abortion or if I wanted to do the chemical. And she said I was early enough, I could do the chemical abortion up to 11 weeks. It was like 11 or 12 weeks. I think she said 11 weeks. So I opted for the chemical because I didn't have anybody there to bring me home, and I'd have to do anesthesia. And I still wanted to back out at this point. Like, I wasn't certain that I wanted to go through with it. Eventually, she came back with a brown paper bag. And in that bag were 4 pills that she told me to insert at night when I go home. She said, insert this at night before you go to bed tonight. It'll feel like a heavy period. And I didn't really have any questions because I was like just assuming she was right. And then she handed me a pill. I think that was the mifepristone, and then the other one was misoprostol. She handed me a pill and she gave it to me with some, like a little cup of water. And she handed it to me. I took them, and then I was like, okay, I thought maybe I could just decide later if I wanted to do it, so I just take it home. At that point, I felt like beyond like uncomfortable because she was staring at me like really close to my face, and she was watching me and wanted me to take it right there, the first pill. And I was afraid to say no because of how intimidating this lady was too. Like, she never even asked me if I was being coerced. Like, nobody asked me like, is anyone making you do this? Do you want to do this? It was just like a very cold transaction, like worse than buying something at Walmart, honestly. And so I think I went home that night and I inserted the 4 pills that she told me to insert vaginally. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was experiencing some of the worst cramping I had experienced at that point in my life. Like, I've given birth, so now I know what giving birth feels like. And this was worse than that. I was in so much pain. I was like writhing in pain. I wasn't certain if I was gonna die or not. I feel like I was like kind of like at that point. And so I ended up going to work the next day. I felt really weird about what had happened. And my boyfriend had never talked to me about it. He never offered to even go with me, just wanted nothing to do with it. So we ended up breaking up anyway. So I wasn't actually thinking about the baby at all at any point during this time. Like, I was just trying to, satisfy my boyfriend and just make sure that he stayed with me. I'm just sad about it. What I did was so wrong, and I really am sorry, but I took a life. Like, I killed my baby.